You have questions, we have answers. This is Jane Muller.
And this is Ken Muller. Welcome to our show, all about real estate with Ken and Jane. So Jane, this Sunday is the big holiday weekend. So
That's right.
we want to wish a happy holiday to all our listeners out there, regardless of what you're celebrating. Easter, Passover, it's even, I think you mentioned it's also Ramadan too, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's to start the show. So today we have a very special guest. We have Nicole Banbor. She's the Chief Executive Officer of the Metro Center Association of Realtors. That's like a tongue twister. We call it MC, better known as MCAR. So we want to give a warm welcome to Nicole, and thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday morning.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. And we want to start by saying we really appreciate all the efforts that under your leadership of how the MCAR has grown and all the things they do for the realtors as well as for the public. It's just a wonderful organization.
Yeah, thank you. That's really appreciated. All the hard work and effort. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So to start with, a lot of the listeners out there probably don't know much about the MCAR. So could you give us an overview of what the organization is about?
Sure. We are a membership organization. We have approximately 3,000 members, and we're a 501c6. So we're a not-for-profit. We don't exist to make a profit. We're there to provide benefits and services to our members, and we are chartered by the National Association of Realtors since 1933. So this year we are celebrating our 90th anniversary. We've been around a long time. And our territory is Middlesex County. And what we do is for the realtors in our area, we plan events and different things to increase their business through networking, education. But the main reason we exist is to unite those engaged in real estate, promote a high standard of conduct using our code of ethics, and inform members on matters of real estate. We also collect dues for the state and national associations as well as our local. And we provide numerous benefits on all through three levels, from the tech helpline to the state scholarship program and the annual conferences of the National Association of Realtors.
Wow, that's a full list.
That's a lot. Yeah, did you take notes to remember that? That's like
That's
I need
right.
Yeah, that's really fantastic overview of all the great things that your organization does for the public as well as for the realtors. So, who is eligible to join the organization?
Yes, we have a couple different types of memberships. The main one we have is primary realtor membership. And in order to be a member of our association, you have to have a valid real estate license in New Jersey. And that real estate firm that you're licensed with has to have joined our association. The principal joins, and then all other agents under them can join as a member of our association. We also have a secondary membership where if someone belongs to another local association and wants to belong to our association to receive one or more of our benefits or attend classes within our county, they can also join without their broker or designated realtor being a member. And when someone joins our association, they also belong to state and national, so New Jersey Realtors and National Association of Realtors. But we also have another type of membership, which is the affiliate membership. So you don't have to be licensed in New Jersey as a real estate professional. It's for other businesses like mortgage companies, attorneys, home inspectors, photographers, whoever wants to be able to network with realtors to increase their business. And it affords an opportunity for our members to connect with people to help them in their business.
I learned something. So there's three types of memberships. One, if the broker joins, then any of the salesperson or have to the entire firm joins. But you can also have an associate membership where if you're if you can join regardless of whether your broker is affiliated with the MCAR or not. And
Yes.
then third one is for third party membership for like lawyers, title companies.
Yeah, third party. The third one I'm very familiar because I know our partner, the business partnership, always sponsors some events. But the second one, I'm a little bit confused. Is if your broker didn't join, can you join? Or if your broker is outside Middlesex County didn't join, can you join?
So if someone is a primary member somewhere else at another local association in New Jersey, that person can join our association as a secondary member.
Okay.
Their primary would still be where they paid their state and national dues. But sometimes they say, I like the courses that you're putting on. I live in Middlesex County, but my license is up in North Jersey. I want a secondary membership so I can be in the loop of what's happening in the area of where I live to make it convenient. So the secondary membership, their broker has to belong to a realtor association somewhere, but not necessarily Metro Center Association of Realtors.
Okay, that's very clear now.
Yes,
Thank you.
that's clear.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's-
I was just thinking, right, if there's a one person broker, of record, if one person like ourselves, right, if I have a broker license, right, if I open a, Central Jersey, Realtors, not really can't use the word, but Central Jersey real estate company, and I, as a broker of record, the person didn't join, but can the agents belong to the office join? Answer is no. They have to belong to another.
That's what I was trying to ask, but I probably didn't make it clear. Yeah, if that's a possibility.
So an agent cannot join without their designated realtor. The designated realtor is usually the broker of record. It could be a manager or someone who's prominent within the company.
Okay.
That designated realtor is responsible for the membership of the agents in the office. So if an agent doesn't pay their annual dues, that obligation is on the designated realtor.
Realtors, yes.
Yeah, so we always go back to that designated realtor. Also with arbitration requests, which I think we'll talk about in a little bit. Sure. It's important that there's a designated realtor because they're involved in that process.
Okay.
Yeah. At least I understand the second part, the second membership. Yes.
But there are three different types, and that's very clear now. Thank you for
Yeah.
explaining that.
Yeah, there's two types: realtor membership and affiliate membership. But under realtor membership, we do have a primary and secondary.
Yeah, there's a two type. Yes.
Okay, very good. So, listeners, I think it's worth explaining the difference between a realtor and a licensed real estate agent, because a lot of the public probably thinks the terms can be used the same, that they're synonymous, which they are and aren't. So, could you please explain the important differences, what it means to be a realtor, hold that designation?
Absolutely. And yes, this is one of the biggest confusing parts to the public. Not every real estate licensee is a realtor. In order to be a realtor, you have to be a member of the National Association of Realtors. And you go through the local association like Metro Center to join and be a member of that national association. So if a licensee is not a member of NAR, they are not a realtor. They're a real estate professional, real estate licensee, and they can sell real estate in New Jersey with that license from the Real Estate Commission, but they can't use the term realtor. It is misused within our membership, within the public, and we try to get that information out. The one thing that sets realtors apart from real estate professionals is that realtors abide by a strict code of ethics. They say, when I join the association, I will follow the code of ethics. A real estate professional from the Real Estate Commission, it does not make that pledge. So we promote realtors to the public to say, use a realtor. They're held to a higher standard. And realtor is a registered trademark, so it has to be used properly as per NAR guidelines. And a few examples in case your viewers are still a little confused. Not all soda is Coke, and not all tissues are Kleenex.
That's
Right, but we
right?
use them sometimes, right? But Kleenex is used such or Scotch tape. Not all tape is
Yes.
Scotch tape, but you say, give me the Scotch tape because
Yes.
that's synonymous with that type of tape.
Yes. So just like not all not all tissues are Kleenex,
Right.
not all real estate licensees are
Or
realtors.
right? It's a subcategory of the broader one. Yeah.
Yes, and to prove that, to back that up with facts, there are approximately 95,000 real estate licensees in New Jersey. And there are approximately 58,000 realtors in New Jersey.
Okay.
So there's about 60% of licensees who are realtors in the state of New Jersey.
And while we're talking about that with realtors and salespeople, with the market conditions, I mean, during COVID, I'm sure you saw an increase, an influx in the membership. Now with the market, I mean, with the interest rates going up, with the inventory being low, how is the membership going in terms of, increasing, decreasing, maintaining itself?
Yeah, great question. And going back to when the COVID pandemic started, we were getting all prepared that we were going to get this big drop in membership. But the complete opposite happened where unemployment was up and those members of the public went to get their real estate license. It was a way for them to shift their career, but also for them to consider making their own schedule and being a licensee. So what we're seeing now is that we're not getting as many new members as we did in 2020 and 2021. We don't see a drastic drop in membership. But we are seeing a change, and we'll probably see another change at the end of this year going into next year, or even, that's when it would be, because in June, July is the CE deadline to complete that, to renew, and then we'll see it when dues renewal comes for us, which we bill in November for a January 1st due date, and that's when we might see another drop, because if they don't renew, we don't find out right away.
Until the money becomes due.
Yes,
That's when the money is always the proof in the pudding, right?
Yes.
All right, great. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after these messages. Okay, welcome back to our show. So, Nicole, let's break down a lot in specific detail all the great programs and training services and assistance that your organization provides to the community. Let's start with the training. That's one of the key aspects of what you guys do.
Yes, it is. We have a professional development committee, and they plan classes for the year based on what they see the members need, what's happening in the market that time or that year. And education is so important to our members to keep up with what's going on in the industry. Some of our training is CE approved, some are not, and a couple successful events we've had last year in the training department that were either were CE approved or not, was our Tech Talk with Realtor.com, and a very successful top producer panel event. We also have some exciting training coming up with an international motivational speaker, Matthew Ferrara. He's going to come into our area on August 3rd, and he's going to help our members create a positive growth for the future and give some key drivers of how to grow. So we're really excited for that for our members.
I always enjoy the training.
I love the training there.
Yeah, even the continuing education, right? Because realtors always talk to each other on the phone. Mm-hmm. So at that time, not only we gain the knowledge and get the credit to continue education to renew our license. But also, you got to see a lot of friends.
Right.
Yeah, so actually see them face to face.
And what's so important is that as part of the training is the ethics. You need to have so many credits of ethics, which is so key and so important because there's so many situations that arise, and there's the examples you give, what's ethical, what's unethical. If a list agent has her own offer, can she lower her commission and to have her offer accepted as opposed to a competitive offer? These are we really break it down in the training classes with these examples, which are very helpful to the community for understanding.
Yes. Since 2001, the National Association of Realtors has required that Realtor members complete the Code of Ethics training, the Realtor Code of Ethics training, not just any ethics training. So that has been beneficial to the members getting that information and knowing what to do and not to do before an ethics complaint is filed.
Absolutely.
Right. Let's talk also very important aspect of the organization is the support and the community outreach that you provide to the public, right? Because that's ultimately, at the end of the day, as realtors, we serve the public. Whether you represent the buyers, the sellers, and you want to do what's right for them and provide them the best service, ethical. They provide their trust and confidence, and rely on our technical expertise as well.
Yes.
And also, as a realtors, we always give back, always put our community first.
And, right, and you can remember some of the community outreach that you did when you first started.
Yeah, when I was a brand new agent, I remember we went to the home shelter.
Homeless shelter,
the shelter, and then we used to, still is, always going outside of the ShopRite to collect the donations, the food for the food bank.
Yes,
as every year's event. Yes.
As a lot of people benefited from that collection of food. Our community service committee plans events each year to help the community, and last year, the two organizations they supported was Elijah's Promise in New Brunswick and the Make-A-Wish Foundation in Monroe Township. And that involved the full membership with collecting funds and putting them together to be able to present a large check to each of those organizations from the Realtor Association. And yes, you're right, Jane, realtors are in the community.
Yes.
That's where you get your business. That's where your product is, right? Your product is homes, and that's in your community. So there's a very large number of realtors that give back to their community. What our committee does is bring together a group of people to do a bigger make a bigger difference than maybe one person can do or each individual can do. So that's a great committee that we have, and it's great to connect with the public.
And it feels so good to give back. I mean, that's part. It's great to make money, but when you're in the position where you can give back, regardless of how big or how small it is, that's just a wonderful feeling for everybody. The feeling is priceless. Yeah,
you can do something for others.
Yes,
that's wonderful.
Now, do you vary the assistance that you provide each year? Like last year, you mentioned it was Elijah's Promise and it was Make-A-Wish Foundation. Like for 2023, for this year, do you have other organizations, or do you usually continue with a group of the similar charities?
That's a great question. We do try to change it up each year. A couple years ago, we did a big fundraiser for Hugs for Brady. And then this year, we are working on connecting with municipalities on improving public spaces or a public space, starting with one. And trying to utilize a grant from the National Association of Realtors. So, yes, we are doing something a little different this year. There's still support for Elijah's Promise because of food insecurity in the area, and it's Elijah's Promise makes it easy for groups to go in and help put food together that will be passed out to the public. So they are still supporting Elijah's Promise, but we're also going to be doing something that will be shown in the community for all visitors to see what the realtors did.
Oh.
Before the COVID, we often volunteer in larger projects.
Yeah, our daughter also volunteered.
Many times
with
I was in the kitchen, chop up the onion, and it was so funny. They said, "Oh, Jane, I don't know you can cook." I said, "Not cooking, cutting." That's a big difference. And service in the front for the people, and help them out and give out the meal. And they also before the COVID, they have a market, in the summer. So our daughter, when they're helping set up and take the tent down and helping up the cleaning the place, so we always make sure our daughter understand giving back the community is one of the most important things in our family.
Yes,
you just got to help others. That's why I think the association did a great job with that. The first day I got my license, the first lesson I learned is to give back to the community.
Right, because you educate the realtors with their ethics, continuing education. You do community outreach, which is so important to give back. So the whole philosophy and theme of the organization is very positive and key.
Yes.
So let's switch now to another important area that you guys cover. Realtors are professionals, and they sometimes have disputes with one another. That's just part of the life process. So if there are grievances or complaints, I guess by either the public or between two colleagues that are realtors, I guess that would be either of those situations would be handled by your group, right?
Yes, that's under our conflict resolution services. We have arbitration requests and ethics complaints. So with arbitration, if someone feels that they were involved in a transaction and should have gotten the commission after the closing, they can file an arbitration request. It's the broker who files because if it goes to mediation, the broker has to have a say in what they're going to negotiate. But that is one of our most used services. And then the Code of Ethics complaint process is if anyone feels that a realtor is violating the Code of Ethics, or at least one article of the Code of Ethics, they can file an ethics complaint. So the complainant could be another realtor. It could be a member of the public. The respondent realtor, it would be their board that it would be processed through. And we have 17 articles in our Code of Ethics. So like I said, if someone feels that a member potentially violated at least one of those articles, they could file an ethics complaint, and we process it. We also have ombudsman services, where if someone did not want to file a formal ethics complaint, they can submit a form to try to resolve it over the phone. And that does not have to be a potential ethics complaint. It could be something like the agent is just not calling me back, and I want someone to get involved, or I didn't like what this agent did. I want an apology from them.
Okay.
So we don't have to go through an ethics complaint process, which might not fall under ethics, but it's an issue that someone wants resolved.
And that's called ombudsman. That's a tough word.
Recently, we had an issue.
Yeah, we actually had a very similar issue
yeah.
that personally we experienced something like that where an agent.
Yeah, what happened was one agent wanted to show property, and that was a tenant occupied. Obviously, we had agreement. Landlord and tenant had agreement with 24 hours notice. However, the agent wanted to show now, and called our office. Office said no, you need 24 hours. Regardless, the agent went ahead, knocked on the door. So the occupant is there. The daughter speaks English, who's on the lease, who's the tenant, and her mother is there. Her mother doesn't speak English. So this agent just basically knocked on the door. The mother didn't know what happened, so they just went in, and she even didn't give a card. And they had obviously a younger child with them, and the child obviously maybe didn't want to be in there or something, and it make a lot of noise. So therefore, the mother was extremely upset. So the tenant made a formal complaint and say, "Hey, I lose the faith of your showing system." So they don't want to continue to show. And basically, we try to reach out to the broker. They're in Northern Jersey. They're not.
So it's not part of our organization.
Yeah,
they would
so
know better
North
if they were
Jersey.
part of our organization.
Yeah, that's
No.
right.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
we made a number of attempts. So we emailed the broker, nothing happened. We've been calling them, nothing happened. At the end, our broker has to get involved. So they said they review it. So, yeah.
Right. What we encourage is broker to call broker before they use our services. They don't have to, but it's a way to try to amicably resolve something.
We're really looking just for an apology because that agent,
we just want the tenant
really
to
just
understand
that we're doing our part and that we don't tolerate any misbehavior like that. When it's just, there's no reason for that.
Yeah.
One other thing I want to add is that our process is expedited. So that's why it's better than the court system. Most of our cases are handled 3 to 5 months, and for ethics complaints, there's no cost, and for arbitration, there's a $250 filing fee. So it's compared to court.
That's pretty.
The court.
That's pretty cool, better. Considering what's going on in the news with the court system. Somebody shows up for an appearance. It could be, that happened in, April, and they don't have a hearing until December, and then it could drag on with all the way lawyers get involved with with filings and appeals and motions. Without getting into the
that's
specifics.
Your backyard.
That's right. Without getting into the specifics. So you guys are much more efficient than the legal system. Much more effective. Right. All right. So we're almost out of time. Just real quick, let's touch upon in about a minute if you want to mention anything, if you guys get involved in any rulemaking for new rules or things that need to be implemented, to further improve the system.
So MCAR has a set of bylaws and policies. Our board of directors meets 6 times a year. So any rulemaking they make are changes to the bylaws, changes to our policies, and they make their decisions based on the best interest of our 3,000 members. But if any new rules come out on the state association or national association, municipalities, real estate commission, we send that information out to our members in our e-newsletter, which goes out every Thursday, or we send it out in a separate notification to our members.
All right. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicole, for being our guest today. Thank you for your time and all the great work that you continue to do for the organization. We'll see everyone next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.